your partner for life, without any strife, through the hard times, through the tough times. Are you ready for this life? Can you handle being a wife? Are you ready to be a husband? You must understand, you've got to pass this test today before you walk down the aisle. Pass this test before you walk.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to Go With The Flow 504. I am thrilled to have you join us, and anyone coming back, welcome back. Today we'll be doing chapter 4 of my book, Pass This Test Before You Walk Down the Aisle. If you have not watched the other 3 chapters or the first 3 weeks, please, I'm going to put the descriptions and those links below this video so you can watch. But I did write a book for people that are getting ready to get married or are already married and would like some, I guess, tips or some more information on what it is to be married, what it looks like, what to expect. Some people have no idea, you know, what they're getting into when they get married. I've been married now for almost 25 years, and so I have a little bit of experience, and you know, can maybe help, hopefully, someone, you know, with their married life. So I'm going to get into it. So I actually also produce music, and I have a whole album that I wrote specifically for this book. The album is called Marriage, and my, I guess, music name is BattleSync. So you can find my music anywhere where they play music. So you can find it on Spotify. You can listen to my music on Apple Music, Amazon Music, iTunes, you name it. I even have music on BattleSync topic on YouTube. And now there's some music videos. So if you don't want to just listen to the songs, you can watch videos on BattleSync Vivo, V-E-V-O. So hopefully you enjoy those. And so this week's chapter 4 is called, Are You Ready to Do the Work? Are you ready? So marriage is often painted as a beautiful fairy tale. But let's get real, okay? So it requires a lot of effort, okay? So that includes communication and dedication from both people, not just one person, both of you. So are you ready to roll up your sleeves and get to work? That is the question. That is what we want to know. That's what this whole book is about, okay? So in this video, we're going to break down the key aspects of building and sustaining a successful marriage. And we're going to discuss some practical tips for each one of you, okay? So effective communication, that is one of the things that I've been talking a lot about. If you watched my first 3 videos on this topic, you'll see I talk a lot about effective communication. So this here, I feel, is the cornerstone of any strong relationship. That is your foundation. To really connect with your partner emotionally, you need to focus on 3 main areas. So that's active listening, expressing yourself clearly when communicating, and of course, being receptive. Okay, so we're going to break each one of those down. So when you're actively listening, that means you're giving your partner your full attention. You're going to put down your phone. You're going to make eye contact, look at your partner in the eye, and show that you're listening, you're engaged, you want to be there, you're present, you want to hear what they're saying to you, okay? So while you're listening, don't just be thinking about how you're going to respond. Just take some time to listen. Understand what they're saying, acknowledge their feelings, okay? You might not agree with them, but acknowledge their feelings with simple nods, verbal affirmations. Let them know you understand what they're saying, you understand what they're coming from, or maybe you don't understand what they're saying and maybe you need more clarification. But just let them know and feel like what they're saying is valuable. It's important to you. You never want to make your partner feel like what they're saying is not important. It's not relevant, because that just means they're not relevant. Okay? So you always want to express yourself clearly. Share your thoughts, whatever you're feeling, your needs. Be open about what you're feeling. I've had so many people ask me sometimes, like, well, can I ask this question? Should I say that? I've had women say, oh, you should never ask a man that question. I say ask. If you want to know, ask. Communicate. That goes for men. If you have a question, you want to understand something, don't be afraid to ask. Ask. You have to express yourself. You have to communicate, because otherwise you could have misunderstandings. If you're not clearly communicating and you start having misunderstandings, then it could lead to distrust, and that's the downfall of any relationship. You don't ever want to feel like you're not trusting what someone is saying, or maybe even you become resentful because maybe you're not understanding why they treat you a certain way, or do the things they do, or don't do the things that they do. So you have to listen, and you have to make them feel heard. Okay? So, and then being receptive. So be open to your partner's point of view. Okay? You might not agree with it, but be open. Listen and try to understand where they're coming from, why are they saying these things, and talk about it, Sometimes you have to maybe just say your point of view. This is one exercise that I've done with people at work, at home. So why don't you tell me your side? Tell me the pros and cons of what you're saying. I'll tell you the pros and cons of what I'm saying. So maybe you're not agreeing on something. So why should we do this? Or why should we not do it? So, if you have to create a case, explain it to me like I'm 4 years old. Why is this a good idea or a bad idea? And just talk through it that way. This way you don't have any misunderstandings, okay? So good communication, though, is going to take a lot of practice. It requires effort, and it's important, like I said, to make sure you understand what's being told to you. And of course, we all want to be understood. So that's what makes relationships work. So next, we're going to talk about quality time. So quality time together. So what I wanted to say, I do have songs about relationships. So that marriage album I told you about does have some songs about marriage. The good things about marriage, mostly. They're mostly happy songs. So I wrote another song that's not on that album. It's a single called Phone and Bottle of Whiskey. So I was thinking about that song when I was talking earlier about putting your phone down. So basically, if you watch the video or listen to my song, you will see that the song is basically just telling people, men mostly, in this situation, but it goes both ways. Put your phone down. Otherwise, if you don't put your phone down, you're going to be left without a wife, with just you, your phone, and your bottle of whiskey. So if you don't want that for yourself, put that phone down. Listen, pay attention, be present, okay? And then just now talking about spending quality time together, I do have a song on the marriage album called Spend the Day. So basically it's just, hey, we need to stop. We're always working. We don't have time for each other. We need to take some time to just spend the day together. So listen to that song. Listen to both those songs. Leave me comments if you like them. If you don't, either way, I don't care. Leave me some comments. I'm always looking for feedback. I love it. So anyway, back to spending time together. You want to create a routine. I know that life gets crazy. So there's work, and then there are bills, and then there are obligations, family, friends, and you might even have children. So all that can take time away from you, and you have to put time aside. So if that means setting a schedule. If there's a day of the month, of the week that you guys want to set aside for date night, you know that, hey, on this date at this time, this is us, this is what we're doing. And date night doesn't necessarily mean always having to go out, you know, somewhere outside the house. You can have date night at home, you know, but it's just quality time for you guys to spend together with no distractions. That includes phones. Put that phone down. No phones, no TV, no children. If you need to get a babysitter or even have your kids go in the room and play. Like we've done that. Tell our kids, hey, mom and dad are having date night. Go play, you know, have fun. We're good for the next few hours. If you need us, obviously we're here. But, you know, so they understood that. So, you know, and date night, like I said, you can stay home, you can cook together, you can, you know, take a bath, watch a movie, whatever it is that you guys want to do together. Where you're sharing, communicating. If it's a movie, find a comedy where y'all laughing together, you know, or maybe scared together. I don't know. Hold on to each other if it's a horror movie. Find hobbies that you also enjoy. You could do hobbies together. Go bowling, painting. You could go, I don't know, golf. Anything that you guys both enjoy doing. You could just be taking a walk, you know, outside down the street, or just relaxing. Me, I like to go to the beach, so I could go to the beach, sit there all day, or walk around, and just be completely happy and content and in heaven. But find ways to relax together. Give each other massages. Either do that at home or go to a spa. Anything that you guys can do to spend time together. I mean, there's a list out there. You can Google stuff, or just whatever it is that you both like. Stuff that you like might not be on the internet. Do what it is that you enjoy, but just make it time for each other. It is very important, because with life getting in the way, you forget sometimes to spend time together, and that's usually how people end up growing apart. So you're going to grow. You want to grow together, not apart. Okay? And of course, one of the things that I am always talking about are respect. Okay? And this one is about respect and support. So that is very important in a marriage. You want to always respect each other. Like I said earlier, you don't have to agree, but you do have to respect each other. You have to communicate. These are the very, very basic foundations of a marriage, okay? So value each other's opinions. Show respect for your partner, whether you agree with them or not. Listen and care about their feelings, their thoughts. When they tell you, don't, put them down. Don't laugh at them. Just enjoy. Listen without judgments. You don't have to always give advice. Sometimes you can just listen. Just acknowledge that, hey, I hear you. I hear you. I might not be able to help. I might not have an answer for you, but your feelings are valid. Your thoughts are valid. I hear you. I appreciate you. I understand. And just encourage and support each other, each other's goals. Talk about those things. And sometimes in life, your goals change, So just make sure that you're keeping up with each other. Like, hey, are you still happy? Talk about the relationship. Are you happy with the relationship? Are you happy with your career? Are you happy with life in general? Is there anything that you want to change? Is there anything I can do to support you? Have those kinds of conversations and encourage each other. If somebody's struggling, help them. What can I do to help? You don't always have to have the answers. Sometimes they just need a shoulder to cry on or a lean on, or, maybe you can make dinner one day so they can come home and relax. Help them with your goals, whatever that is. So just recognizing and appreciating each other's contributions to the relationship. Say thank you. It is something so simple and so easy to do. Just a simple thank you can go such a long way in showing that you appreciate someone. They make you breakfast. They wash the dishes. They do the laundry. Hey, thanks for doing that. That's it. Like, it takes how many seconds? How many seconds? Try it. Hey, thanks for washing the dishes. Try it. Hey, thanks for doing the laundry. Hey, thank you for that. How long does that take? But it means so much to your partner. So write that down. Don't forget. Next, I want to talk about conflict resolution. So obviously, if you've been in a relationship long enough, you know that things are not always going to be happy and joyful all the time. You will have some conflict at some point. The goal is to not have conflict. The goal is to know how to handle the conflict. And of course, when you read books about how to handle all of this, they talk about use I statements and it is beneficial, so you don't want to always seem like you're blaming somebody. You never do this, you never do that, you never, just say, hey, I don't feel, happy when this happens. I feel hurt when you say that or you do that. And I'm here saying when you, but you want to try to just say, hey, I'm hurt when I have to spend time by myself. Instead of saying, hey, I'm hurt when you're not here. See what I'm saying? Try to keep the you out of it. It is so easy to just blame, okay? And of course, we talked about listening. Always make sure you're paying attention. Especially when arguing, it's easy to just blah, 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 blah. You're not listening. You just want to be heard. You're not listening to me. Well, no, let me talk. Why? No. Stop. Listen. Let them finish venting. And while they're venting, listen. Don't be sitting there waiting, trying to figure out how am I going to respond and what am I going to say, trying to remember what they did and what they said last time so you can add more fuel to this fire. Just listen, pay attention, and care about what they're saying and try to figure out why y'all having this argument and how can you resolve it. And of course, stay calm. Staying calm. Sometimes you may have to walk away and come back and talk about it later. Just because you're having a disagreement doesn't mean it has to be had at that moment. Hey, look, let's take a time out. Let's step away from this situation and come back later. Maybe we can talk about this tomorrow. Sleep on it. Think about, why am I so mad? Why am I upset? What am I expecting? What went wrong? How can we prevent this from happening again? And maybe talk about it calmly when both of you have thought about things and are not so mad anymore. Building understanding. So we've talked a lot about, hey, communicate, make sure that you're understanding each other. So let's just focus a little bit on building that understanding and see what that looks like. So not everybody is good at showing empathy, but empathy is very important. You want to try to understand each other's perspective. Maybe even try to put yourself in that person's position. I can see why you feel that way. Shows that you care. Hey, I've never been through that, but I'm sure that hurts. I can't imagine what you went through. I am so sorry. Just show some compassion. Understands, or try to let them know, I really cannot put myself in those shoes. That had to be difficult for you. Just validate them. Ask questions. You're going to hear me say that a lot. I ask a lot of questions. If you have a question in your mind, ask. Use open-ended questions, especially when you're arguing or you're trying to understand something. Don't ask simple questions that can just be answered with a yes or no. Okay? And of course, intimacy is very important in a marriage. You want to concentrate not just on the physical aspect, but definitely the emotional aspect. That's what really keeps you together, right? Because when you have strangers who can meet and at the spur of a moment have physical intimacy, hey, that's nothing. But when you connect with somebody emotionally, that's a whole different level. And in a marriage, that's very important. You have to keep that at a good level. Okay. So of course, physical affection is good. I'm not saying it's not. You have to make time for that. So whether that's through hugs or kissing or just a sexual connection, just small gestures of, kiss their forehead or, smack them or whatever. Just anything to say, hey, I see you. I still love you, a smile, seriously. All that's important. You don't ever want to stop doing any of those things. Emotional bonding is just as important, if not more important. You want to share your most inner thoughts and feelings, and you should not be afraid. You should never feel like, hey, if I say this or do that, they're not going to like me or understand, or they're going to look down on me. You should always feel safe to talk to your partner. You should feel safe to open up, even when you're vulnerable. You should feel safe to talk about your hopes and your dreams, your fears. If there's something you're afraid of, you should be able to connect with your partner and talk about that. Because that connection ensures that you guys grow stronger as a couple, and it makes your bond stronger. So all that together makes a very healthy relationship. Speaking of healthy, we want to set some healthy boundaries in a relationship. So those, of course, look like respect. Respect is always going to be there. You don't want to call each other names. I didn't mention that earlier. In a disagreement, you don't want to use hurtful language. You don't want to attack the other person. There might be things you don't like about them. This is not the time to be disrespectful. There's never any time to be disrespectful in a marriage. So even when you're mad or upset, keep the disrespect out of it. Just agree to disagree. Like I said, sometimes you might have to walk away. We're always going to have our own opinions. They're not always going to match. I always say, hey, I respect that. That's your opinion. That's great. This is my opinion. So we don't agree right now, and that's fine. We just agree to disagree and move on. It's not the end of the world. So it's important before you decide to take that plunge and walk down the aisle to assess how ready you are for your marriage and put some work if you're not ready. So we talk about communication and trust. How well do you guys communicate? Ask yourself some of these questions. Is there trust in your relationship? Do you take time to have open conversations about your hopes and your fears and your dreams and your childhood, your past relationships, your future, what you envision your future to be? Do you want to have kids? Sometimes it always amazes me when I'm talking to people and, they say, oh, I don't know, we've been married now for 2 years and he wants to have a baby and I've never wanted to have kids. So I'm looking like, wait, what do you mean? Did y'all not talk about this before you got married? Oh no, the subject never came up. Well, guess what? If you're getting ready to get married, this subject needs to come up. So whether or not you already have kids, you need to talk about that. Do you want to have more kids? Do you want to have any kids if you don't have any? And both of you really need to agree on that before you get married, because if somebody wants to have a child, that's usually a feeling that's just not going to go away. So that's something that's life-changing. So that's the rest of your life, because if you want to have a kid, it's not like, oh, I'm going to stop eating sugar so I can be healthier. It's not the same thing. If you want a kid, you want a kid. So this is something you want to know before you get married, okay? And then you also want to just do some self-reflection on yourself, do some work. So hopefully going through this book, reading this book will kind of give you some insight on yourself personally, who you are as an individual. Think about some of the things that you want, what you expect, what you're willing to give, what you're not willing to give in a relationship. And is this something that you can do with this person for the rest of your life? So if you're ready to do the work for a thriving marriage, then congratulations. More power to you. Just remember that, you know, even after you get married, it's going to be a daily choice whether you communicate with your partner. It's going to be daily whether you respect your partner. It's going to be daily just being committed to being there with your partner and growing together and being committed, being present in the moment. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic, I do have an assessment. So that's what this whole book is about, is pass this test. So if you want to go and look at the questions that I have and just start thinking about, you know, how does that look for you? Do these questions make sense to you? Have you discussed these things with your partner? Have you thought about these things on your own? And hopefully you can get some insights into your own relationship and what your marriage is going to be like, and you are ready to walk down that aisle. So if you have come this far, I really do appreciate you watching my video. You are fabulous. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. This is just chapter 4. So I have more chapters to come. I'm actually a little behind because I was supposed to be posting weekly, but you know, life happens. I hope I'm back on track, so you'll be seeing more of my videos. So I'll be doing chapter 5 next. And if you have not yet gotten a book, you can get one of my ebooks on Amazon Kindle. And it is called Pass This Test Before You Walk Down the Aisle by Florence Battle. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, push that notification button. That way, anytime I post that next chapter, you get notified. I also post some of my videos and my music as I'm releasing them. I've basically been releasing a new song about every week. I am going to be releasing an album next week on the 25th on Friday. Usually every Friday I got something coming out. Okay, so hopefully you enjoy this book. You enjoy my music. I enjoy you guys as well. I enjoy your comments, your support. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys next week in my chapter 5 video. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you guys later. Hopefully this is helpful for someone. All right.
Thank you for watching my channel. Go with it for 504. If you like my content, please subscribe, like my videos, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Stay fabulous and have a fabulous day. See you in my next video.